Hey, what's up, you guys? This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report daily marketing tip. Well, it's super early in the morning. We just did a early morning distribution about 5:30 in the morning. Um, but what was coming to mind when I was distributing, I was thinking about the early bird catching the worm. I was trying to get better for all of you all, but um, I don't want you guys to fall into some of the traps that are the path and the saying of the losers. I'm not calling any particular person a loser, but there is a loser mentality out there, can't be denied. Um, there is a losing attitude out there, cannot dispute that. Losers say things like, I'm not an early person. I tried it once, it didn't work for me. Um, those are loser sayings. I will tell you a strategy, things that I always repeat. Marketing is not a lottery ticket. Marketing is not a casino. It's a sure thing. If I tell 1,000 people, it's a lot better than if I tell 100 people. Um, but I had someone tell me, think about this. You're running a serious business and you're you say I don't advertise. So that means that, and I looked around, I didn't see anything special. I didn't see anything great. I saw a lot of you who were definitely going to be head and shoulders, and already are just starting out than this business. I would be embarrassed to say that I've been in business for 18 years if I was in that state. And I would not say that I don't advertise. That means that you are making yourself you're better than McDonald's. You're better than Domino's. You're better than Prudential. You're better than Bank of America. You're better than Walmart. You're better than Target. These businesses are very visible pillars of the community with millions and millions and millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue each year. They're the number one option on top of every customer's mind, and they still advertise. So I had a person tell me that 1,000 distributed ads was a lot. Now, I want to recalibrate you all's brain. 1,000 is not a lot, especially when you weed out the folks who may not fully receive the advertisement, as far as you can't shove anything down anybody's throat. So you have to start using your brain. And I want you guys to think about the 1 to 10 rule and the 10% rule. Only 10% of people are going to get it, right? You have to think like that. You hope 100% of people get the full message, but think about it. If you run a radio ad, how many people are listening to that station? Maybe a lot. Compare it to the general population. Look at your radio dial and see how many stations there are, and you tell me what are the chances of everyone in that population use listening to that radio station. Okay, so now I got you listening to the radio station. What are the chances that you might have a car trip that lasts 10 minutes, and if you have the radio station on, what are the chances of you actually having the station on driving to your 10-minute drive, because you're not driving all day listening to the radio station all day. So, what are the chances of you actually having that on while that commercial comes on? So, even if you do big numbers like the radio station, you still have to weed out for and think in terms of 10%, right? Um, if someone gets a magazine ad, what are Sports Illustrated? What are the chances of do you get Sports Illustrated? Does everybody in your city get Sports Illustrated? No, only a certain small percentage. So we're dealing with big numbers. We're dealing with the numbers game when it comes to advertising. Then, once again, is not just about advertising. You might have somebody who looks at the advertisement, right? The small number, they might actually act on it, and then they drive past your business and it's a dump, right? So you have to first think about improving your quality, and then make sure you improve your quantity when you advertise, because now your quality is gonna keep them if the quantity gets them in the numbers game, right? So nobody's gonna stop at a dump just because they saw it in an ad. And definitely no one shops with a big piece of paper in their hand. So the whole notion of I got no one from, it's like, no. Well, I'm gonna ask you, what is your what was your bottom line revenue from last month to this month? Did you go down or did you go up? If you say you don't know, then you don't know, right? That means you need to know that number. You need to get to know your numbers. You need to know if you're growing or if you're dying. Um, you, if you got new customers that you know you didn't prospect and recruit, then how did they get there, right? So advertising definitely works. If you're a business, if you work for a person who says they don't advertise, you should be getting another job. Unless you work at some type of direct care facility or some type of medical center, you ought to get a job. I've even seen dental offices advertising all the time. They advertise their techniques on implants. They advertise their cleaning specials. They advertise all kind of stuff. And that's a dental office, right? Everything has choices attached to it. So people want the customer to choose them. That's why they advertise. If you're running some type of a front business to do some type of a crime or something like that, that would be crazy because businesses are out in the street and everybody sees you, and word is going to get around really quickly. You're probably better off doing something like that in the back alley or something, right? But if you're running a real business, you want to make sure your place is clean. You want to make sure your place is open on time. You want to make sure your employees are courteous to the customers. And I guarantee you, advertising is a numbers game. If you're playing advertising like a lottery, then you're doing it the wrong way. I would say this: whenever the idea is hot to start advertising, you need to jump on it right then. Because I would say in every publication, on every network, space is limited. And there's a lot of people who want that space. So if you're playing hard to get as a business, you're just going to lose out because the next guy is going to get that slot and it may be your competition. And I've seen people say they get no customers, one a month, and I'm like, why are you not advertising yesterday? Why are you not wanting it like you want oxygen in your lungs? Like, I hear so many excuses, and I'm telling you, don't go down the path of the loser. Don't say the sayings of the losers. Start having winning attitude. Start doing what winners do. Winners jump on ideas. Winners take risk. Winners do big numbers, right? Winners don't poke at the market. Winners don't use advertising as a lottery ticket. Winners sustain campaigns. Have you ever seen someone win a presidential campaign with one speech? One speech with 1,000 people there, and I want to be the president. It doesn't happen that way. You can't even win the mayor election. You can't even win city council that way. You have to have a sustained campaign. You have to have yard signs on as many yards as you possibly can. You have to have as many of your speeches out there on repeat as it can. You have to be physically at places, shaking hands, kissing babies, as many as you can. That's how you win in business, and you cannot stop. The moment you take a break, you start to lose market share because now you're assuming that everyone knows about you. Nobody knows you exist. So come on, guys. I want I want you guys to read books like High Trust Selling. I believe Todd Duncan uh, wrote that book. I want you guys to start. I want you guys to start listening to things, listen to the speeches and interviews of Kobe Bryant. Like, I want you guys to start doing what winners do, right? Losers, I'm sick of the losing statements. It's like, you know, sometimes if you don't want to invest in yourself, it's no wonder that you don't get any customers because the customers are smarter than ever. They have more choices than ever now. So a lot of you guys are really just taking up space. It's just a matter of time if you don't change your ways that you're going to do some serious damage to your life with your business because I think this is how you make money, right? So you guys are really if you ever seen the movie Money Pit, that's what you guys are creating. You're creating money pits that are losing more than you're winning, and it's not because the customer is sophisticated, they're smart. It's because your quality is low and your attitude is low and you're not a risk taker. All of a sudden you open this business and now you're not a risk taker, right? So if you don't budget in advertising and marketing the same as you budget in your rent or your wages or your employee costs, then you're really not doing it the right way. If you think you're going to just throw some extra money at advertising, right? If you spend more money on cigarettes than you do on advertising, you're really doing uh, your employees and your business a disservice, right? So play the numbers game. You should be getting you should be having multiple advertising sources. You should be trying to attract as many customers as you possibly can, especially if your average customer is going to be a repeat customer that like comes every day or every other day, or if your average customer is going to be a high value customer, like 500 to $1,000 per trip, then it's worth spending $200-300. It's even worth spending $500 on an advertising medium. Why? Because one customer is going to pay for the whole campaign. Do what winners do, right? Why do presidential campaigns spend billions of dollars for a $400,000 job? Well, you have to look at what that job is going to do for you once you get it. You'll be a legend, you'll make money forever, your family will always be rich, your family will always have power and influence, right? Off of that $400,000 job, they're going to pay billions of dollars in radio ads and speeches and travel and staff just to get that. And they're going to talk to countless people. They're not going to just poke at it and make one speech and say, hey, this president, why am I not winning the election? It's crazy. Be a big thinker. Don't be the guy who people are saying big ideas are too crazy for small minds. You're a business owner. We need to grow up and make sure that we are being responsible, fiduciary. We have a fiduciary responsibility to your business once you take on leadership in a business. All right. So saying things like, I'm not a morning person, I don't advertise, this doesn't work for me. Uh, 1,000 is a lot. Oh my God. You guys, there's 68,000 homes in the Antelope Valley alone. So if you've gotten 1,000 out there and maybe 100 have really hit home with customers where they sit back and read it, well, you've gotten 100 people to know about your business out of 68,000 homes, where each home has 5 people on average that live in it in the Antelope Valley. The average homeowner is about 33 years old. So you might have older people and younger people within that household. But guys, let's follow the path of the winner. Um, there's a lot of bad mechanics out there, and shout out to you guys who, the Frozen Penguins, the Jays Breaks, you guys who absolutely the It's All About Me boutique. You guys are staying the path and running it as a campaign. That's why you guys are growing and doing better and better and better. And you're just getting started. That's the whole thing. You're just getting started, right? So, anyways, this is WD3. This is a great, great Friday morning. Uh, let's follow the path of the winner. And this is your Hill Report daily marketing tip. Let's go get some sales.